What's up, everybody? Thanks again for stopping by for another edition of March 4th with Mike Bauman. I, of course, am your host, Mike Bauman. Whoever you are, wherever you are listening from, thank you so much for checking out the podcast. If you're a returning listener, I greatly appreciate your continued love and support. And if you're a brand new listener of the show, thank you so much for hopping aboard that pirate ship. You can follow me on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok at March 4th Pod. The link tree with all of my stuff is in the podcast description for this episode. So that means if you made it here, then you found me somehows. And I truly appreciate each and every one of you taking the time to check out another edition of the March 4th with Mike Bauman podcast. How is everybody doing, man? I hope that as this is hitting your eardrums, that life finds you well out there. We are officially in May, so we've got spring, warmer weather, a lot of great music going on, a lot of great sports going on, especially for basketball junkies like myself. We just had March Madness recently, and now we are in the thick of the NBA playoffs. So your boy being a huge Detroit Pistons fan, man, it's been kind of a whirlwind and emotional first round, but I'm manifesting that as this episode hits everybody's eardrums, they just played the Magic in Game 7, which they forced after being down 3-1. So I'm just going to manifest a dub. And either way, great season, but I'm manifesting a dub when this comes out. But I hope that everybody's doing well, man. And wherever and however life finds you right now, just keep your head up. You know, like the theme of the show, March 4th, persevere, move forward, chase your dreams, know that you are loved and you are worthy and you are worth it, whatever it is that you want to achieve in this lifetime. And understand that the darkness that we all go through in life, whether it's death, heartbreak, shifts in career, relationships, things that don't work out, all of those challenges. Sometimes our last mistake can be our greatest teacher. All of those challenges help get us to the light and become the best version of ourselves. So, at least in my life, that's one of the things that I've learned is sometimes those low moments really can serve as turning points and doors opening to really positive things happening in your life and positive people on the other side of that door that closed. So, if there's any kind of solace or inspiration that I can give you in my little spiel here to start this week's episode, it would be that. Keep your head up, keep pushing through. You are loved, you are worthy, you are worth it. If you are alive and breathing right now, you are enough. You don't need to be famous, you don't need to make a bunch of money, you don't need to be an executive, you don't need to be all over YouTube or whatever, man. Like being a human being who treats yourself well and treats others well, if you're doing those things, you are enough, man. And speaking of treating others well and treating themselves well and spreading love and positivity and joy and using their gifts for the betterment of the people around them in the world, this week's guest is really the embodiment of that. She is a multi time guest and friend of the show, and I was so excited to get her back on. She is none other than Zhaklina. Zhaklina, originally from New York, she is a Nashville-based alternative rock and pop artist, mental health advocate, and poetic storyteller. And she creates music for people who feel deeply, love fiercely, and are learning to rise again. Over the years, she has contributed to mental health organizations like NoStigmas, To Write Love on Her Arms, and Project Semicolon. Suicide prevention and mental health awareness are both central focuses for Jacquelina's purpose in her work. She also partnered with Booker Rebecca Cole last year for the first ever Stay Fest, which was a multi genre music and mental health awareness festival. I got a chance to attend. It was awesome. It was held at the Cobra in East Nashville in honor of National Suicide Prevention Month. And it was a great turnout, man. It was cool between the artists that were on the bill, between the mental health organizations that were there. It was really cool. I had never been a part of something like that, and that was really awesome. And the reason we got Jacqueline back on because with her work as an artist, her latest single "Labyrinth" with her friend and fellow awesome singer and operatic voice Anastasia Elliott, who's also based in Nashville, they came out with a song called Labyrinth on Friday the 13th in March. It's a dope song, and the reason they put it out in March was in honor of Women's History Month. And as you guys will hear in this episode, Zhaklina takes myself and all of you, the listeners, through the cool and deep meaning of that song. The music video that they put together for it was also sick. Her husband, Bobby, who's an awesome singer and musician in his own right, shout out Hollowake. He was also part of the Labyrinth release. And this is also a really cool time for Zhaklina because her next single, Out of My Head, is out May 15th. You can pre-save that now. And another thing that Zhaklina is a part of, she is the founder of Mental Health Songwriter Nights in Nashville. And established in March 2022, Mental Health Songwriter Nights gives back to both mental health organizations and local artists that are part of those shows. The next Mental Health Songwriter Night is going to be taking place May 9th, this weekend at Mockingbird Theater in Franklin, Tennessee. So a lot of cool stuff on the horizon for Jacqueline. Some other fun nuggets in this episode as well that we get into, but just a really dope human being. Her and Bobby, not only on the mic, but off the mic, the work they do in the mental health space and in the Nashville community, bringing other artists together. It's really cool. So I was really excited to get Jacqueline back on the show and talk about everything she's got going on. So without further ado, I'm going to shut my big yapper and give you guys my conversation with Jacqueline. Here it is. Alrighty, there we go. Well, Jacqueline, thanks again so much for coming back. I was thinking about it before we got rolling. Um, I think we got in touch like 2.5 years ago or something. I think the first time you were on the show was like towards the end of 2023, which is
Yeah,
kind of crazy, man. And then I had Bobby on, and the dudes in Hollowake, I think maybe 24, like time is like flying by. So this is it's wild to me that it's 2026 still sounds spacey to me. But thank you for coming back on. I really appreciate it.
yeah, absolutely. I'm really happy to be back and I love chatting with you. I think you're awesome and I just appreciate like the communication that you have and just like how supportive you've been since you've met us with our music. You're just super cool. So it's awesome to be back.
Well, thank you so much for the kind words. Likewise, man. I got a ton of respect for you and Bobby and all the people I met in the local scene. What's up to the kitty cat? What's I'm sorry, I forget the cat's name. We got to give a shout out to the cat.
Dwight. Yeah, Dwight is the outgoing extroverted one, and then Miko is more of like an introvert, which you see him once in a while on social media, but it's usually Dwight's the one that's like, "Oh, camera." Yeah.
My cat Charlie is still the background of my phone. He probably always will be. I mean, eventually, if I get married, like my wife will be, she'll be there with me as the background. But like he's my lock screen on my phone, my orange
Yeah.
tab. Still, he,
Oh, yeah.
he
That's
was
so
he,
sweet.
he was a good guy, man. Hilarious. That cat had so much personality. Holy shnikes. He would sit when I gave him treats, and like when I was still doing like print journalism when I was writing music feature stories back in the day, this same table that I still have now, this high table, he would like sit behind the computer and just chill and lay there while I would like write stories. He was the coolest cat in the world. But shout out to all the cat moms and dads out there, man. But you are here because on Friday the 13th, you just released your new single featuring Anastasia Elliott. Also, shout out another awesome person in the music scene,
Yeah.
Labyrinth. And it was really cool, man. And the music video was cool. It almost to me it kind of came off as like a gothic dream almost.
Yeah.
Um and just reading what you sent about the lyrics of the song and the fact that you guys released it in March for Women's History Month and Women's Appreciation Month, man, I thought was really cool. But how fun was it to get this one out there, Jacqueline?
Oh, it was awesome. So Anastasia is one of my best friends, and we've been friends for a while, and we have been talking about writing a song together for a really long time. And because her and I like have a lot of like similar stories and like things that we've been through, and And so there were just things that like we bonded on that we were like, man, we got to write about this at some point. And we finally wrote a song just about like our history with friendship and trauma and like people outgrowing friends and things like that. And it was really cathartic and like healing for us. And it was during a time when like we were each going through just like a tough time with different friendships. So that was just like a really great outlet for us. And then I brought in my one of my producers, Jared Stong, who I just felt like would be like a really good fit for this, to like bring it to life. And he just crushed it. Like everything he did was great. And um yeah, it's really powerful. Like this song, we started work writing it in September. And I remember I went to Ireland for a week with Bobby, which we were super excited about because it was both of our first time to Ireland and Bobby's very first time out of the country. So that was fun. But while I was over there, like I was just like any chance I could get, I'm like, oh, this is so inspiring. Like taking all these notes of like what lyrics to incorporate. So a lot of like the lyrics that I put into the song had a lot to do with like different inspiration I took in from being in Ireland while I was like thinking and processing the concept of the song and like writing out different kinds of ideas. And so, and that was like before Anastasia and I actually physically got together to write it. And so when we finally did, I was like, here's all these ideas I had for like, lyrics and stuff, because we were both on the same page of like the message. Um, and then I'm just going on and on because it's like this song has so much depth to it. I had this dream, and I'm a very like vivid dreamer, sometimes lucid dreamer, and a lot of times my dreams are representative of different things that I'm like processing in real time. Um, and I had this dream about this like brown recluse spider biting my hand, and I like was actually in the middle of like a work shift when it happened, and I was like, I'm so sorry, like I have to go to work, like I have to go do the like I was very worried, or I'm sorry, I have to go to the urgent care to check out what's going on with my hand because it started turning black. And I was very concerned about like what they thought and what their feelings were. And I was like, can I please go to the urgent care? And it's like, no, like you gotta go. And then I get there, and like the friend that I was like going through a difficult time with in real life, like she was in my dream at the urgent care, and I was like trying to talk to her and like figure out how she was doing and what was going on with her. And meanwhile, my hand is like slowly turning more and more black. Um, and eventually, like, and she wasn't really talking to me. It was like I was talking to a wall. And that's how it felt in real life too. And it's like the more I was trying to like, communicate with her and see how she was doing and engage, like the more I was being more like hurt. And then like I remember I ended up going to the ER because the urgent care person told me there was nothing they could do, and my hand kept turning black, and I'm like, "Ugh, somebody's got to do something." And I get to the ER, and I remember just like slamming my hand in the dream like on the front desk, and I'm like, I need help. I'm gonna lose my hand if somebody doesn't help me. And then I woke up. And it was so, for me, it was like really clear that this song was like had to do with spiders in some way, because I I've definitely felt like that was such a link to like my emotional processing at the time. And I'm like, it feels like I'm like caught in this spider web, but not just like a web that's like, stuck. It's like a it's like a labyrinth. It feels like a maze. You're trying to get out, but the more you try to get out, the more you get stuck. And it's like you're fighting it because like I'm the type of person that like I try to fix things, but the harder I try, if I'm like overdoing it, I get stuck even more. And sometimes it's like the answer is less is more. So like retreat. And then like that was like a learning lesson for me. It was like, okay, like I need to do less and like step back from this situation in order to like help heal my heart and myself, and then like break free from like this cycle that is obviously not helpful at all. So it's very exciting, very like powerful and cathartic to finally get that out. And Anastasia has like her own side, like to like her experience too, that relates to the message of the song. But it was really just powerful and cathartic for us and exciting to finally get a song out that we did together.
I appreciate you breaking down like the imagery and everything, man. Cause yeah, like especially when you have dreams that you really remember and they're like almost like traumatic, that's crazy. Especially if you're like the tissue on your hand is just becoming necrotic and they're like, yeah, we can't do anything, man. That was like my worst fear when I moved here, just being from the Midwest. I like every spider I see in my apartment, I'm like, it's a brown recluse. It's definitely a brown recluse. Like um, yeah, I don't know that I've actually seen one in Nashville. I don't know. I don't know if I'd be able to tell. I know they're supposed to have like the little violin looking thing, right?
Yeah, but I feel like I still get confused because there's things that I'll look at them and I'm like, oh, that's a brown recluse because that looks like a violin, and someone's like, no, that's not a brown recluse, and I'm like, I don't even know.
You know, it's like spiders that people are like, yeah, they eat other bugs. I'm like, yeah, dude, but I can't like the visual of like when I'm sleeping just being on me or like I'm yawning and it's like in my like I can't do it. If I see them in the apartment, they gotta go, man. They gotta go. But that's the nice thing about having cats. But my cat, he would just like bat around with it and play with it until he got bored. And I'm like, dude, Charlie, kill it, man. Like use those murder mittens, kill it, you know?
Murder mittens. Oh my gosh, I love that. Murder mittens. Oh my
But
goodness.
the music video was really, really cool though. And I know from what I looked up, Anastasia does like set design and stuff too, right? In addition to being a musician.
Yeah, she is a professional videographer and does like a bunch of music videos for other people, which like she started with doing for herself, and along the way like she just got so good at it and is really, really, really passionate about it that she wants to do it for other people. And I only do that stuff for myself. Just because like for me it's like I'm so connected to my music and like the way that I want people to hear it and then also like visualize it and experience it. Like I'm super involved in directing and set design and all of that. Like the webs and everything was my idea. And she's just like so good at making sure like okay, this is what we need to do to make it look like top notch and like here's like let's like I remember I was putting the spider webs out and then and like attaching them from like the ceiling to the ground, stretching them out. And she was like, why don't we put some on the walls? And I was like, I didn't even, I don't know. I didn't even think of that. And like, as soon as she did that, it like, it's like those little things that like just took it to the next level that I was like, oh my gosh. Like, and so we made a really, really good team for sure. And it was kind of the same thing when we wrote the song too, because like I brought these lyrics to her. Like but in the chorus it says, you spun your silk around my neck. It initially said you spun your web. And she was like, what if we change the word web to silk? Because a lot of times in toxic relationships, it feels more comfortable to be stuck in it. And I was like, that is brilliant. Let's do it. And so that was just like super, super cool. And yeah, she's brilliant and so talented. And um, yeah, I feel really blessed to have been able to work on this with her for sure.
And there's a part in the middle where I think it's going into it might be going into the second time you guys do the chorus, I think, where you do like the hardcore vocals. And the
Yeah.
last time you were on here, shout out to Stay Fest when you were promoting that on here. I had seen you post a few Instagram stories, like you and Bobby, like working on like the false
Mhm.
chorus, like the fry vocals and stuff. And you're kind of like, I'm working on some stuff right now. So it was cool in the music video to see that part where like it's like that real dramatic scream. And then I didn't even catch it until like at the end, like was that your voice going like way up? Like towards the end of the song, like it was crazy because like when I listened to it the first time, like I mean, I you hear it in the song, but I don't even know if I can like explain it. Like I didn't catch it that it was you until I watched the music video, like the way the music and the production works, and I was like, oh my God, she really got like way up there. Like, how often do you challenge yourself like that, Jacqueline? I mean, you've done it before in other songs. Um, but like, is it fun for you to go from like the guttural, like those hardcore vocals to like those high register ones, especially doing it in like the same song?
Yeah. It's so much fun. You know, it's like a little kid at Disney World and you're just getting to ride your favorite rides kind of a thing. So like I feel like with Labyrinth I got to do it was like all my dreams came true. I was able to scream because I'm getting better at doing that in a way that doesn't hurt my voice. Thanks to Bobby's coaching. He's a very good vocal scream coach. Um, Now I'm actually operatically trained. So I grew up in that environment. So what you heard me sing is something that like I've been doing since I was in eighth grade. I'm what you would call a soprano one. Um, Now as I've gotten older and I don't really like access that register as much as I used to, like I was when I was in choir and stuff in school, I was always singing up there. But like I don't really use that part a whole lot anymore. I don't use it a lot anymore, except for like sometimes in these background harmonies that you'll hear in songs. I don't usually perform it live either, just because like live it can be difficult to go from like belting straight into like this like operatic soprano note. So I'll typically have that like as like a track harmony, and I'm belting the lead. But what was cool about this was like I think that was like one of the highest notes I've actually hit in a while. And I've been really working hard on keeping that upper register a little more warmed up. Like even if I'm not going to be using it for a while or for anything, I've just been doing these like soprano exercises just to not lose it because it can take me a while to get back to there. Um, but I was able to like, you know, I had some really high belt notes and powerful like vocals that I did, then the scream, then that high soprano situation. And I just like, I love listening to that and being like, man, I got to really do everything that I love doing with my voice in this song. And I'm really proud of that. Because it's not easy to do. So yeah, I feel really good about it.
Yeah, and shout out Bobby too was he did some screams on the song in the background, I think,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, he had a couple after my like initial one that were like BGV ones, and the one that I really loved that he did was when like we're going into from the ooh section into the last chorus. It's like this Frankenstein like it wasn't like a like because like the one after he like he harmonized with me with a scream, and then after that he did this Frankenstein like rar thing, and it's so cool and I love it. Actually that specific scream was my producer's idea. Um, and so it was really cool, like just the way we were able to collaborate, all of us, like you know, bounce ideas off of each other and figure out who did what, how we did it. It was cool.
Yeah, it turned out great, and I thought the music video was like a really good representation too of the song and like the lyrics, and the fact that it was Friday the 13th too, which I had another band on the show that dropped a single on Friday the 13th, and then I was like, I'm like it's wild that we had 2 months in a row where we had two Friday the 13th in a row,
Yeah.
like weird stuff like that. So, and I'm like a big horror movie fan anyway, but yeah. Was that kind of intentional to drop it on Friday the 13th with like the spider imagery and stuff like that, or did it just kind of work out that way?
It was intentional to drop it on Friday the 13th, and the spider imagery was intentional, but not for like not because like I believe in superstitions. I actually did that on purpose to challenge superstitions because like a lot of times people they don't want to do something on the Friday the 13th because they're like nervous about it being like bad luck or whatever. And so for me it was more so breaking free from the lies and from that kind of like mindset and just being like, no, I'm going to release this and I'm going to break free from that mindset on Friday the 13th, and nothing bad is going to happen. And it actually has been like a really successful single. Like the first week, it had like some of the most streams any of my songs have had in the first week, which is really, really cool. And it's been put on the most radio stations any of my songs have been put on yet, which is also very cool. But yeah, so like it was intentional, but not for the purpose um of like supporting the Friday the 13th message, more so challenging it.
I feel you. I feel you. That's cool though, man. Like trying to flip the script on it and make it like positive and not unlucky 13 and all that stuff. I dig it. And yeah, I have Spotify and I was looking at the streams on Spotify and I'm like, man, this is cool. And you guys, the music video as we're doing this, I think was just was it within like the last couple weeks, I think, as well.
Yeah. Yeah,
Video.
just last Friday. It's the weeks are starting to blur, but yeah. Recently.
Well,
Because I released it a week after the 13th. So, was that last Friday or the Friday before?
I think I think so. And we'll give some shout outs too. So on the video, uh I hope I'm saying his last name right. Is it Josh Loney? Is that
Yeah.
Josh
Hmm.
Loney? Jelena Baker, Vicky Elliott, is it Skylar Murley? Is that how you say your last name? She did the makeup.
Yeah, she crushed the makeup.
Bobby was doing with like lighting and did you guys have like a fog machine, I think, too, or like a smoke machine? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And what's wild too is like the footage does not do the amount of fog that was in there justice. Like Skylar has asthma, and like she was gonna initially come in there and grab some like BTS content for us, but she couldn't stay in there because it was so foggy. And like I couldn't even see where the camera was half the time
Where
because it
did
was so foggy.
where did y'all shoot that, Jacqueline?
I was at Anastasia's house. In her basement, she has a studio. And she actually shoots a lot of her own content in there. And she's shot content down there for her clients too.
Oh, sick, sick. That's cool, man. Yeah, Nashville, it's I forget like being here just how much, which I guess I shouldn't be surprised as long as I've been here, but like there's a lot of music videos that are shot here. Like and there's so many cool like creative locations I feel like that we have. But that's cool that she can do it out of the basement like that, man.
Oh
That's
yeah.
one this from the Midwest. Like the basement was like the hangout spot. So it's like rare, I feel like down here to like have a basement, you know what I mean? Everything's like
Yeah.
rock and stone and like it's almost like you got to be built into a hill down here. Anyway, that was a weird like Mike like ADD rant just now.
That's such a good point though too, because I also am like, where are all the basements? Like, because I mean, she has one, but not a lot of people don't.
It really turned out great and I hope that the numbers and everything continue to go well and yeah, it's just cool. Like the past 6 months, like we were talking before we officially hit record, it feels like it flew by. But like Stay Fest was so much fun. I know that that was like a lot of work, but I'm so glad I came out. Like it was just so cool to see all of that get put together, the multiple stages, and it was cool because I what I really liked about it was all of you guys were supporting each other, like all the musicians that were part of that were all checking out each other's sets, all the way through the end of the night. And that was
Yeah.
a lot of fun, man. And it was cool to get a chance to talk to some of the organizations and stuff that were there too. So
Yeah.
how much fun was it to see it like finally come to fruition after like all of the months and months and months of work?
So fun. I mean, I like towards the end of the night when like um most of my job was pretty much done. I actually let loose and just like had a lot of fun and just danced and like there's like this cute video Bobby got of me and Anastasia like rocking our heads back and forth to the closer because we just let loose because we were there all day. And it was fun. And I'm really proud of that. Like, and Rebecca too, because we did that together. I couldn't have done it without her. That was a feat, and it's a lot to just for one person to do. And it's exciting to know that like we were able to accomplish it, and make a difference and put together a really cool show.
Yeah, because for people who don't know, and thanks again so much for your time, Jacqueline. I appreciate it. It's always good talking with y'all, man. But you've been doing the Mental Health Songwriter Nights for years. In fact, I think that was kind of how we first got in touch on Instagram, just with like the kind of content that I have with mental health and music, and
Yep.
you being in that space, obviously, and doing what you're doing locally. But yeah, to meld those worlds, I think was really cool. And I think you've announced a few more this year, right? Was there one just recently, a mental health songwriters night?
There was one in January, and that one was awesome. It went really well. And then our next one is on May 9th. It's going to be at the Mockingbird Theater in Franklin. And that's like multi-genre. We'll be benefiting Mental Health America of the Mid-South at that one. And then I'm currently booking our first summer tour, which is pretty cool. Like our first stop is going to be in Evansville, Indiana. That one's locked in. And we're trying to finalize spots in Chattanooga, Tennessee, Baltimore, Maryland, New York, maybe Virginia Beach, maybe Atlanta, and maybe Philly. So there's a lot of like different locations that we're kind of looking at. And it's just dependent on how many artists we can find, that are like interested in performing in this event and are passionate about mental health, and then venues. But yeah, so there's definitely a lot of cool expansion happening with these events.
Congrats, that's exciting. I didn't think I knew that you were working on that. This so you went from doing your first mental health festival, now you're going to do a summer tour, man. That's awesome. Congrats.
Thank you. Yeah, the sky's the limit. And my goal with these too is to benefit different mental health nonprofits that are local to the areas that we perform in. So it's just the same format that I designed for Nashville, just taking it to these other places where it's finding local mental health nonprofits and organizations that we can give back to when we're there.
That's sick. I'm excited for you. I'm manifesting it goes well. And I know some people in Baltimore too. So maybe I'll have to shoot you a couple of artists that are up there.
Please do. That would be awesome. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, there's a shout out Wes Anderson. He's got the same name as the filmmaker, but he makes dope music with artists and
Mm.
collaborates with some really cool people.
Cool.
And then Free Friends, which Ben and Lauren are husband and wife that are in that band. And they're a trio. They're really awesome in like the pop punk realm. So yeah, I'll shoot you their IGs because they're really good people in the Baltimore area, man. Well, before we like bring it home, I know I'm kind of like jumping around. And thanks again so much for doing this, Shaklita. It really is always good catching up with you. Um, I thought it was cool that you guys dropped it in March, obviously with it being Women's History Month and like Women's Appreciation Month, and in the music video, like some of the people that like you highlighted, like as you know, tags if people are into like Poppy, Evanescence.
Yeah.
Who are some of like I guess for you, like I'm not gonna ask you like give me your top five or like your Mount Rushmore because it's I don't like putting people on the spot, but who are some really influential female vocalists for you, either like growing up or even currently, just anybody that you're into that you want to give a shout out, whether they're local or national?
Yeah. I mean, definitely Amy Lee from Evanescence, is like one of my biggest inspirations. And she has been since I was a kid and still is to this day. Um, when I was younger, Celine Dion was for sure my like first vocalist that I like definitely was like, I want to sing like that. And I remember just being 5, just like belting it out of my lungs. And like she's the reason that I wanted to learn how to belt. Um, and then like more recently, I have definitely been into Yannicka, which I think they're based out of UK, but it's a female-led band, and she's just got these really cool, powerful, angsty punk rock vocals, and um, I really love her music, and I've been really digging that. Poppy's super cool, which is funny because like I actually didn't used to like Poppy, and more recently I've gotten really into her stuff. A lot of her new stuff has been really interesting to me, and as I'm learning how to scream, like I'm listening to different vocalists that do it well that like also sing, specifically females that do that. So I've been really growing and appreciating her craft and her music, and enjoying a lot of her newer stuff that she's released. And she's just so creative. I love that about her too. Um, and then, man, I feel like I could go on and on. Let's see, I want to talk about some local artists. I mean, Anastasia, she's fantastic. I am so happy and proud of the fact that her and I were to create something together. She's really well known in Nashville, and just so talented and gifted and creative herself. And as a friend, she inspires me and an artist as well. Um, and then I would also say, just kind of my brain just popped over to Halsey really quick. What I really dig about Halsey is like she's super honest through her music, and like she's evolved a lot through it, which I think is cool. Like she's one of those people that I feel like you can't put in a box. So she's definitely appreciated, or I have definitely appreciated her as an artist. Um, as she's continued to evolve. Like I feel like I've just kind of followed her whole journey, and she's super open about her mental health, which I think is super cool. Anybody that talks about mental health, I think, is just so brave and strong, and because it's not easy to talk about the things that we wrestle with and struggle with, and a lot of times like there's just a lot of hate that you can get. So I think it's cool when people do it, especially on like a massive level. It just kind of says like, this is who I am, this is what I deal with, and if you still listen to my music, great. If you don't, then okay. And I really appreciate that kind of authenticity and courage. Um, so yeah, I'll stop there. There's a lot.
Oh, it's okay. You could get, I appreciate all those shout outs, man. And yeah, there's so many, like you said, there's so much talent in the local Nashville music scene. Artists like yourself, Anastasia. Um, I just had, it'll be an episode that's coming out, but I just had Audi on the show. She's
Oh,
awesome.
cool.
Oudi is how she spells it. She's great. I think you would dig her. Um, I was just rocking out to Dying Wish earlier today. I don't know if you're familiar with them. They toured with Poppy last year. I believe it was last year when their record came out. And I'm kicking myself because they headlined then Dying Wish, I think, did like a headlining run, and they headlined at East Side Bowl, and I think it was a Friday night. I'm still kicking myself I didn't go, but she's got a great voice. I believe her
Mhm.
name is Emma. Check out her stuff, man, because she can do everything from like the melodies to like the guttural, the hardcore,
Oh,
fried
cool.
stuff. But
Awesome.
yeah, Dying Wish is sick. They're from Portland, but that's what's cool about being here. Is like there's so many um like I feel like the local music scene, at least from the people that I've come across, like yourself, Bobby, Audi, my buddy Brandon, Sleep Nation, like it seems very collaborative and supportive,
Yeah.
and not like people trying to like one up or like all the shows that I go to, man, it's really cool, Jacqueline. I feel like the artists are there, they're watching each other's sets, they're collaborating together creatively,
Yeah.
whether it's music videos, and I think that's cool. Like as somebody, because I think you're from New York originally, if my memory serves me right.
Yeah.
Like has how how has that been for you just over these last few years, like with the Mental Health Songwriter Nights and your friendship with Anastasia? Do you, as somebody who's in the scene, does it feel collaborative and does it feel more like that than it does maybe competitive compared to maybe some other music scenes you've been in? Because just as like a fan of music and as a dude with a podcast, it seems like there's like a lot of love and support in the music scene.
Yeah, I would definitely say that the collaborative atmosphere and heart is super present here in Nashville. There's still, I mean, you still have like a lot of competitive energy and people who are just trying to be the best all the time and they don't care who they step on, and people who only care about numbers and a lot of clicks. Like that exists everywhere. But when I focus on like the actual collaborative opportunities and the people who are here to connect and like help each other grow, like there is so much more of that here than anywhere else I've ever been, including New York. So I mean, even now as I'm planning this tour, like there's certain cities where it's like I feel like I'm like it's harder. It's like pulling teeth to get something together. And then there's other cities where people are like, yeah, I want to help. What can I do? Like Baltimore has been super cool. Like there's a couple artists that have like recommended venues to me, recommended other art, and like that's so cool. And like where like there's some cities where it's like crickets. So, it's just interesting to see how like geographically, depending on where you are, there is this different experience as an independent artist, but there still is that the similar energy of competition that you feel anywhere you are. It's just, I think, more balanced here. And there's just so much more community here because like I think that actually comes from not just the music industry. I think the heart of Nashville in general is super community oriented. Like this, people are always helping each other out here. I mean, when we lost power when we got iced out back in January, I think, or it was late January, early February, something like that. And like just how people were helping each other. People were like, "Can I bring you anything? You can come stay with us." Like just I don't know, the community here. I mean, and when we've had tornadoes and like anytime I'm going through stuff, like people really care and reach out and want to connect and help here, where like that's just not, I can't say that about everywhere else that I've lived. So I think that it bleeds into the music industry, which I'm really grateful for.
That's awesome. It's good to hear because like as somebody who's just been in it for like a few years and trying to get more of a spotlight on like the local music scene and get local artists on my show. It seems really collaborative. So, well, I'll get you out of here on this, and thank you so much, Jacqueline, because I want to make sure you can go eat dinner and enjoy your night. Um, everybody go listen to Labyrinth. It's really awesome. I think it's so cool to be able to have a creative outlet to turn a negative into a positive. Like that's what I love about doing this podcast and
Yeah.
connect on that way. Like you were talking about Halsey and mental health and I think it's cool you highlighted that too because I think sometimes people see people that have achieved like a certain level of success, especially in art and you think like oh that like everything must be gravy for them and it's
Yeah.
like not man like people still go through stuff and it's still sure there might be access to things that are easier or financial things that are easier but you're still a human and you still emote and you still feel things so
Hmm.
I think it's
Yes.
really cool that she promotes that and that you and Anastasia on your song with Labyrinth, were able to take, those things that people go through in toxic relationships and take the imagery and those lyrics and turn it into something cool. Anything lately that's been helping you get through, like you said, earlier this year, with the ice storm and that's
Yeah.
life, right? Like things happen, but that was pretty gnarly, man. I mean, for people who aren't aware, like there were hundreds of thousands of people without power in Nashville for like more than a week. It was crazy. But anything that's been helping get you through lately that you think might help somebody out there?
Yeah. Yeah, that ice storm was wild. We camped out in our living room. And then actually it was Anastasia who she's the closest one to me who had power, and she was like, if you guys need to come and stay with me, come and stay with me. Like she opened up her home to be she's just such a generous human being. You should have her on your show. Um and but anyway, yeah, that was wild. We thankfully got our power back after not having it for 30 something plus hours. But we were really close to leaving. Um, I lost my stepdad earlier this year. And I found out pretty suddenly, like I didn't get a chance to say goodbye, and that has been really difficult to process. And there's times when it's just really heavy. Um, and I think what I'm learning in this season is to just like let myself feel what I need to feel, without allowing it to like completely consume me. And like I do a lot of internal family systems work in therapy. And for anyone, are you familiar with that structure? It's a big part. I talk a lot about it in my music too, and this whole project that Labyrinth is a part of that's coming out soon is like all about IFS. It's really nerdy mental health talk. But it's super helpful. So like it's just about seeing like all these parts of yourself as parts and then figuring out how to healthily integrate them and essentially like welcome them back into your soul, like because like the parts aren't bad, they're just misunderstood or they're misled and they haven't been responsibly dealt with. So like in therapy, I go through a lot of trauma and I'm revisiting it now with my like healthier self and trying to like work through how to manage these different parts and healthily integrate them and heal them and all of that versus push them away. Because a lot of times, like the parts that are really hard, we tend to push away and we don't want to identify them because they're scary. So, I'm unlearning that messaging and learning how to befriend the hard parts. And well, after I lost my stepdad, like there was a lot of hard things that came up because that was a really complicated relationship for my whole family, and it honestly like caused a lot of drama after he died. So there was grieving him, not being able to say goodbye, and a lot of family drama that I had to navigate. And that was just really intense and very sudden. So I had a lot of like painful things come up, and being able to sit with those parts of myself and not judge those emotions while also remembering like they don't define me and learning how to compassionately like work through them. And it's like, when you look at a part of yourself from when you were younger, if you've gone through anything difficult, which most people have, you just remember like you did your best. You did your best, you were surviving. And like that really helps reframe a lot of like the shame that can come up with regrets and the pain that you feel um when you feel like you're not enough or whatever it might be. Um, and reassuring those parts too that like, they're not bad and they're welcome here, has really helped me become more compassionate and gracious towards myself as well as towards other people. I just feel like I've grown a lot as like a listener and really trying to hear people's hearts versus like, you know, just letting whatever they say like impact me right away. It's like, okay, what is this person's heart saying? Um, because a lot of times things kind of come out really jumbled. But in that time of my jumbled season, I was just sitting with my emotions, sitting with my different parts, um, and allowing myself to feel everything I needed to feel, and then just kind of coming back to center, which for me, like that involves a lot of prayer. I'm a very faith oriented person, so I pray, I meditate, I read my Bible. I'm also very physically active, so it's important to me to do yoga, to get some cardio in. I go to saunas and cold plunges a lot. So physically, because I think like all of the emotion and stuff that we carry and go through, it lives in our bodies. So we have to figure out how to also work that out. So there's things that you have to release, that I think is really valuable and important. So I just think like for anybody that's going through a hard time, like it's a process and I don't know anybody that's 100% healed. And it takes time to heal from things. B, don't judge your healing process. Like, allow yourself to like experience the different phases of it and the different parts of yourself that need attention. And then just like definitely don't forget that like physical aspect of it and like doing something for your body that needs grounding as well as your mind.
I appreciate you sharing that, and I'm really sorry for your loss. That's really tough, man. And but I'm glad that you have these outlets to go through it, and yeah, grief is it's one of those things, man, where it's like until there's like no real way to prepare for it, and I'm sorry that you didn't get a chance to have like a proper goodbye too. Um, but I think at least in my experience of grief, and not making it about me, but relating it to you, it's like you really do find out how resilient you are as a human, and like
Mm,
and also the community of people that you have, close
yeah.
to you to lean on to go through that. Um, because it's tough, whether it's death or breakups or pets that you've had for a long time. Like it's never easy to say goodbye. Like death
Yeah.
is never easy, but I'm glad that you have these different things to balance it, and like you said, the physical aspect, and like I recommend exercise to anybody who has ears, like and moving your body, and just to release that gives you music. And I'll have to
Mhm.
look into was it IFS? I'll have to look more into
Yeah.
that to check that out. That's interesting.
There's a lot of resources out there, books, podcasts, and for me, like it was really important to have like a therapist that could like work through things with me through that mode. And so that's been really cool um to experience for myself. And um so yeah, there's so much help out there and so many resources, and IFS is one of my favorites because they actually just okay, I'm gonna take a second, nerd out really quick. Like there's these studies done on it, and it's grounded in like the fact that like if you were to go to like a jail and speak to like the wildest criminals out there who have done some of the most heinous crimes, like, and really sit with their parts deep down, like there is no bad part. They've done bad things, but there is no bad part. And I know, that might sound like I'm really pushing some buttons for some people, but I really believe that. And I think that like that doesn't mean like, you just like let people do whatever they want and you don't have boundaries or you let toxic people into your life. It's just more so understanding for ourselves, and for other people from a compassionate perspective of like healing is possible if you can sit with these different parts and learn like where the pain is coming from, because typically all the mental health disorders, all of the crimes, like everything that happens is like it's an it's basically a tantrum from a little kid or a younger part of ourselves that didn't get what they needed, and potentially instead was hurt really, 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 really bad. Um, and a lot of times, like, I think it's just important to remember not to judge. And like I have a song called Man with a Gun that's out, which I wrote and put out before I even knew about the IFS system. But it was about the shooting that I survived in 2014. And I touch on like the mental health of the shooter. Like I say, what are we running from a lot in that song? And that actually is like a call to like, you know, what is it that he was running from that he felt like he needed to like kill people and then kill himself? Like, and that's kind of like a lot of the messaging in IFS is like, don't run away from your parts. You got to lean into them with support, with someone who's trained and knows, when like because a lot of, there's a lot of different kinds of mental health issues. So like you can think you're leaning into something, but you're actually over identifying with it. Like I do that sometimes in therapy, and my therapist will be like, you are over identifying with your manager, which is the part of me that wants to fix everything. And I'm like, oh, I thought this was normal. And he's like, no, being exhausted all the time is not normal, Jacqueline. But so it's just like one of those things where it's something you want to do with like professional support, someone who understands it. But it's really cool, and for me, like touches a lot on just like healing is always possible for people.
Well, I think that's a great place to put a button on it. And again, I'm sorry for these traumas that you've experienced. And again, I'm sorry for your loss of your stepdad recently. But I'm glad that you got your power back, literally and figuratively. Labyrinth, you've got your
Yeah.
power on home. You're
Well,
you're season. We got a summer tour on the way. We got another mental health songwriter night coming up in Franklin, which by the time this gets out, this will be right in that window. So that'll be cool for that. But
awesome.
yeah, I'm excited for you. It's always great talking to you, Shaklina, for real. You have an open invite anytime you want to come on the show. And again,
Yeah.
I appreciate the kind words you had in the beginning and right back at you. Like I really appreciate you and Bobby and so many others in the local music scene that not only are passionate about your art, but especially like the mental health piece of it, having these kind of conversations. And I appreciate you going there at the end. I know it got a little heavy at the end, but I appreciate you
Yeah.
being vulnerable and expounding upon these things because I really do think a lot more people would still be here. And the people who are still here that are struggling with those things, I think would be in better headspaces if they felt comfortable to like be able to open up like that. And I know it's not easy. Like it takes time to be open and vulnerable and courageous, but I'm glad that you explore it through your music and that you have these healthy outlets when some of those dark things happen. That's important. So I
Yeah.
appreciate you sharing for real.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate you too. I really appreciate the space that you hold for people. It's awesome.
Well, thank you. Well, I will put up the links in the podcast description, but let them know where they can find you, Jacqueline.
You can find me. Um, My artist name is Zhaklina, Zhaklina, and I'm on all music platforms. So, in terms of listening to my music, anywhere you listen to music under my name. And then social media, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok, and Threads at I am Zhaklina. So, that's just IAMZHAKLINA. And you can definitely check out my YouTube as well and all my music videos and visualizers. Super fun. The social media account I'm the most active on is Instagram. So if you really want to chat with me on social media, that's like definitely my preferred platform, but I'm on the other ones too.
All righty, dighty. There you have it. That was my conversation with Jacqueline. Make sure you go follow her on Instagram at I am Jacqueline, and that is spelled Zhaklina. Her website with all of her links are at jacqueline.com. And please also go follow Mental Health Songwriter Nights on Instagram as well at Mental Health Songwriter Nights. And again, everything too in her one central hub is on her website at jacqueline.com. All of the links to everything that she's got going on are in the podcast description for this episode, so you'll know what to do. Scroll down to the bottom of the podcast description for this episode and go follow and support my friend Jacqueline. If you're into mental health, if you're into awesome indie alternative music and just awesome voices, you will love Jacqueline's work. Once again, her latest single, Labyrinth, with her friend and awesome singer Anastasia Elliott, is out now, available everywhere you get your music. And please go pre-save her forthcoming single, Out of My Head, which will be coming out May 15th. And if you are into Nashville or Middle Tennessee area, or if you just want to take a fun road trip, this Saturday, May 9th, the next Mental Health Songwriter Night is going to be taking place at the Mockingbird Theater in Franklin, Tennessee. So I will also have the links and information to that as well if you want to come out and check out Mental Health Songwriter Nights, which again, Zhaklina founded back in 2022. And it really is a cool thing because they give back to mental health organizations and they also support the local artists. So it's really a cool combination. So I just want to say directly to Zhaklina, thank you so much for coming back on the podcast. I really appreciate reaching out and I really appreciate all of the kind words and love and support that you and Bobby have sent my way, Zhaklina, truly. And shout out to Dwight for making an appearance at the beginning of the show as well. But in all seriousness, I have a ton of respect, not only for you as an artist, but just as a person. The darkness that you've gone through in your life, that you have been open and vulnerable in sharing on this show. I really do think it helps a lot of people, Zhaklina. And I appreciate the fact that just as a fellow human, you are using your voice and your gift, but also your time just as a human being to give back in this world and support mental health. It's very important. And I know it means a lot to you. It means a lot to me. And really appreciate the work that you're doing. And I can't wait to hear Out of My Head. And I'm really excited for what you got coming up this summer as you share on the show and the things that you've got in the works with future shows outside of Nashville. So once again, everybody on Instagram at I am Zhaklina, Zhaklina.com, Mental Health Songwriter Nights on Instagram. And again, please go pre-save Out of My Head. That's due out May 15th, her next single. And again, this Saturday, May 9th, at the Mockingbird Theater in Franklin, Tennessee, is the next Mental Health Songwriter Night. So I just want to say thank you again to all of you who are listening. And if you are new to March 4th, once again, welcome aboard the pirate ship. But the episodes of the podcast are not only available on all of the major streaming platforms, but you can also watch the video version of the podcast on YouTube. So all of my links are in the podcast description as well at March 4th Pod, pretty much on everything. Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. If you did enjoy the show, one thing that would be awesome would be if you go and leave a rating and a review on whatever streaming platform you're listening to this episode. Spotify and Apple have 5-star ratings. So if you haven't rated the show, please take the time to do that. It helps the algorithm, from what I understand, rank the show higher, let people know that they like it. And ultimately, that's what I want because I want to put more people on the dope artists and human beings like Zhaklina. So if you want to do that, that would be great. Even though I don't like asking for stuff like that, it does help, man. And I think all of the people who have been with me over the years, my ride or dies, people I don't know on a personal level who are listening to the show around the world, thank you so much for the love and the support that you've given me. It truly means a lot. And those things, for those of you who are new to the show, really go a long way in helping get more people onto artists like Zhaklina, her husband Bobby, his band Hollowake, Mental Health Songwriter Nights, all of it. So that would be great if you took the time to leave a rating and a review. And thank you for listening. So, on that note, I'm going to officially wrap things up like I always wrap them up by saying, keep the faith and be kind to one another and be kind to yourselves. I hope that everybody has an awesome week. Courtesy of Zhaklina with her friend and awesome singer Anastasia Elliott. Here is the song Labyrinth. Peace.
The silence never screams so loud. This vortex of my inner voices keeps on crying out. You force the breath right out my lungs. You left everything and there's still fresh blood